church media and church communications is very heavily influenced by technology. And tech news is something that Justin and I have to go through and learn about and read about and get new ideas and all that sort of stuff. And so we thought we would basically talk to you today about some things that are happening in the tech industry and how they relate to church media. Oh, I should run the intro. Hey guys, welcome to the Church Media Guy Show, where we learn how to use and exploit media and technology so we can take the gospel to the world. I am one part of the Church Media Guy Show and the founder, or I guess I'm terming myself now as the co-founder because I kind of got it started, but Justin is helping me run with it. So the thing that I'm talking about, the it that I keep referring to, is churchtrainingacademy.com, which is where we teach and train how to use and exploit media and technology and take the gospel to the world, just like we do right here on YouTube, just like we do right here on Facebook. With me is my partner in crime, Mr. Justin Nava.
What's going on, Dave? What's going on, everyone watching? Chris is here. Ramon's here.
Ramon.
We're on YouTube. Jonathan, Courage, and Jordan. What's going on, everyone watching live? And let's. Oh, maybe I should start it like this because someone on YouTube commented that I'm a low-key boy band member. So, what's up, Dave and family? How about that? Is that good?
That was so dope.
That's why Dave stays behind the camera.
That's right. You know, if you
am right next to him.
If you let your hair grow out just a little bit more, in fact, when your hair is at the point that it's time for a haircut and stuff, you kind of have a little bit of that John Ralphio thing going on, and those Parks and Rec fans know exactly who I'm talking about.
Exactly. And actually, my singing voice was inspired by Tommy Timberlake.
Tommy Fresh.
Baby, you smell good. And if you understood any of those references, you're our new best friend.
That's right. Absolutely. So, hey, for the folks that are just joining us here, I'm looking at a very basic wall behind you. A little scuffed up, a little worse for wear. What is going on, dude? Tell everybody about the gigantic changes happening in your life.
Yeah, man. So we'll do a vlog on this. It'll actually be a little bit. The vlog will come out after it's already happened.
Yes.
But we're moving to Houston. My wife is finished. For those of you that have been following CTA for a long time, you know that my wife has been in grad school. She graduated, and now she's got her first job with her graduate's degree. She's a physician assistant.
Mm-hmm.
We're moving to the big city of Houston. I was born and raised there, and I got out as soon as I could, but God's called us back. So she's already up there working. We stayed down here. We're packing up the house, and tomorrow we're moving just about everything. We're here till the end of the month. We're going to be living out of suitcases, but this weekend was the best weekend to move our stuff. So last night during our mastermind, I'm packing up the entire studio, except for my computer, the mic, and the mixer, and of course the router. So that's it. That's all I have on my desk. I normally have a desk with an extra computer and all this other fun stuff. I got nothing. I don't know what to do with my hands because I packed all my. Do
you still have a video light up?
Oh, and the video lights. I do have the video lights up as well. So that's why I still look so good.
Yes.
So fresh. So
you look Tommy Fresh.
But yeah, so nothing is behind me. In fact, during Mastermind, if you watch the recording, you can just see me just tearing down my shelf, my iron. The brick, I packed the brick that was behind me.
Yes.
So yeah, so I'm not, guys. So the audio listeners come out ahead on this one.
Yeah, very much so. Hey, our topic today, the news and stuff like that. You know, I spent a lot of time in the tech industry, Justin. I did. I've done thousands of shows and hours of live streaming and web video and all this kind of stuff surrounded in the tech industry and all that. But since I started doing Church Training Academy, I'm not as steeped in it. I'm not literally reading 10, 20 articles a day and writing scripts and doing shows on it anymore. But a lot has been happening, and a lot of it really, it kind of, everything that we do I try to explain to people. They ask, what do you do with Church Training Academy and all this? A lot of it, what we do is everything that people out there, in whether they're marketers, whether they're building a brand, whether they're running a tech company, whether they're running a news company or whatever, all the technology and all the things and tools and stuff that they're using and all that are exactly appropriate for any industry. And you and I focus it on the church industry. Is the church an industry? Church industry? On the church, on marketing for the church, on communicating for the church, on using media for the church and all that. And it's interesting how basically we're doing the exact same thing that we do out there in the real world that we do in the church, just with a church spin on it. And a lot of this stuff can be used for the good or for the bad, to promote the gospel or to deter from the gospel and stuff. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I couldn't find my mute button. Yeah, for sure.
There you are.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah. All right. We have you have put in a couple of things to talk about, things that are going on that would, could have an effect on church media and all that sort of stuff. You want to kick it off with Prime Day, which is like
Absolutely.
happening right now?
Yeah, it starts on Monday. It starts on Monday, I believe.
Yeah, the 15th and 16th.
July 15th and 16th.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you have a Prime membership, whether it's for you or for your church, doesn't have to be for your church. Like I know my church has a Prime membership.
Mm-hmm.
Prime Day is basically a Monday and Tuesday of next week, July 15th and 16th, where Amazon's going to go crazy and just mark down a bunch of stuff. Now, a lot of it's going to be Amazon stuff, but also some manufacturers and producers and e-commerce businesses will mark down their stuff just because the hype's there. People are already there. It's kind of like your Memorial Day weekend blowout sale where every car and mattress in the world is half off. I guess in the US is half off. So it's like that for Amazon Prime Day. And by the way, if we have anyone watching that works in FedEx or UPS and has to see these masses of Amazon boxes, I would love to talk to you because I'm just personally curious of how that works. But where this comes in with your church is that, of course, if you've got anything coming up, that there's two ways that you can take advantage of it. If you got anything coming up that you've been putting off, now's a good time to buy it if it's going to be on sale on Prime Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You still should do your research. Just because it's marked down on Amazon Prime, on Prime Day, it could still be cheaper somewhere else. Sometimes manufacturers, it's in their model. If they mark it down on Amazon, they have to mark it down on B&H. So also still check your other vendors or wherever you go from. But this is a great time to go ahead and just buy those things you know you need. If you have a budget, of course, I'm not telling you to go over budget. No one likes it when their wife comes home or their spouse and says, oh, I just bought this great rug. It was half off. And you're like, I don't need a rug. You just basically spent half on.
Right.
We're gonna put this rug.
Yeah, I've had that discussion with my wife. It's a great deal. Right. And we didn't need it.
We're still $20 shorter than we were before you left the house.
But it's
my wife's not like that. But I think we're all guilty of that.
Oh, of course. I know I am.
Oh, this Iron Man figure was half off. She's like, where are you going to put it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have a shelf anymore.
I don't have a shelf. So let me refocus myself here. So number one, if there's anything you've been wanting this year, Prime Day could be a great example. So for example, if you want that $700 Canon camera kit, I'm not saying this is on sale,
right?
But let's use that as an example. On Prime Day, it could very easily be $400 or $500 or any kind of $700 item you need. Take a look at it on Prime Day. Number one, it's a good deal. Number two, you got that urgency at your back and say, Pastor, I know you wanted to buy this camera maybe when school started. Right now, it's $200 off. I think we need to pull the trigger now. And then you get that a little bit faster. Now, this plays into Amazon's hand, and honestly, I'm okay with that. So just be aware, July 15th and 16th, Prime Day is coming up. Number two, where this could help you, some churches I've talked to, their fiscal year starts in August with school or September. So if you're coming up on the end of your fiscal year, I'm really talking to the employees, right? And you've got some extra money that you have to spend out of your budget, some surplus, the Amazon Prime, you're going to spend that surplus of $800, $1,200, however much you have. Go ahead and spend on Amazon Prime and get $1,000 of stuff for your $600 of surplus that you're expected to have. So that's another benefit. If you're at the end of your fiscal year, this is a great time to be aware of Prime Day.
You
You
know,
gonna buy anything for Prime Day, Dave?
have I what?
Are you gonna buy anything for Prime Day?
I'm not sure. I'm going to keep my eyes open and see what happens. The cool thing about Prime Day is because Amazon is so pervasive now. At least here in the U.S., it's extremely pervasive. It is redefining how other companies are doing business and doing sales and things like that. And what happens is um, when you have Prime Day, like you said, Amazon stuff, the Fires, the Echoes, the Fire TVs, and things like that. Those sort of things are definitely going to be marked down. I was just looking. In fact, I was
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
I was scrolling through as you were initially talking. They're they're for it was like $270 if you bought like a Ring doorbell and an Echo, but if you buy the Ring doorbell, you're going to get an Echo Dot, and it's like $100 off or something. Little things like that, which I mean, everybody's installing these Ring doorbells and stuff. They're great. That's just it's just smart to take advantage of that. But the cool thing is that the other people that are selling on Amazon, like Panasonic and Canon and all that sort of stuff, even if Amazon is not directly doing their stuff and taking something of the and putting it in like the electronics category or what have you, they may be doing it as well. They may be just going into their own account and marking stuff down just so they can move some more merchandise and do all that. So you look for the Prime deals and all that, but then things that you have been looking at over the last month or so and wondering, should I pull the trigger or should I not? If you don't see it in there, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to be there. Go to those listings and just see if there has been a price drop. You may be able to do it. Other people are taking advantage of this big time. Like you said, Best Buy is going to be doing stuff. Other outlets are doing things. They may be doing it, say, on Tuesday or Wednesday. After Prime Day, they may be doing Prime Week. It's like Prime Day is becoming. I think it's going to become a verb. It's going to become like a Xerox or Kleenex or TiVo
Well,
or something like that, where it's just we're having Prime Day, and your fries electronics or something. But it's really
Dave,
cool. I
does your
say go for it.
does your does your family observe Prime Day?
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Already, just two things that caught my eyes. I'm looking at things that are going on sale. Already, AirPods.
yeah,
The regular ones are going to be under 150, and the ones with wireless charging are going to be 180. So you're getting $20 off. But then also they're going to have a 128 gigabyte iPad. I just clicked off the page, but I think it's going to be 329. So if you need an iPad for whatever, and probably something more than a kiosk, because this thing's going to be loaded with
yeah,
128 gigs, this is the time to buy it. I mean, you're
absolutely.
getting it for under $400. That's
Hey,
pretty sweet.
if you're a worship pastor, if you're in the media ministry and iPads are not a part of the arsenal of tools that you use, you're really missing out. I mean, you really are. Our choir, our band, everybody is using iPads, for bringing in their music, and we're using iPads to serve content, to kiosk, all that sort of stuff. They're extremely useful. Grab onto those deals. Um, you want to talk a little bit about the Twitch stuff, the gaming and all that? I know you're like hardcore gamer and stuff. I still haven't bought an Xbox One, but it's coming this year. Maybe on
I
Prime Day.
I am not. First of all, I am not a hardcore gamer. I don't think I ever was, even when I thought I was.
Uh huh.
No, I'm super casual now. I fall under what's now called a patient gamers,
Okay.
where we don't really play things when they come out. We wait till they're on sale,
Yeah.
and all the FAQs are out. So when you find this stupid level you can't beat, the answer's out there, and you can just play it. Um, however, okay, so I'm going to contradict myself. I did just buy Mario Maker 2 for the
Okay.
Switch, where you can make your own Mario levels and play levels that other people have made.
How cool is that?
That is the most fun game ever. Message me if you have it so I can play your levels. But one thing that I enjoy, because I don't get to play a lot because I'm busy working, I watch Twitch a
Hmm.
lot. And if you don't know, we've talked about it so much, and man, this is just becoming one of the things that we just keep coming back to in 2019. Church Training Academy keeps coming back to, is the Twitch.tv platform. If you don't know what it is, basically it's a live streaming platform primarily for gamers. That got its start there. I love watching the musicians on there as well. But it's a person that sits in front of a TV and they're recording. They have lots of graphics on there, and there's a chat box, and you can interact and engage with the gamer, kind of like you interact and engage and kind of influence the things that we talk about, and we give you shout outs. They do the same thing on Twitch. Okay. And if you just say, why would you sit there and watch someone play video games? Go on Twitch and find a video game you've played in the past. Just go find someone playing Mario, Super Mario Brothers. There's someone playing Super Mario Brothers on Twitch. Just go watch them for 20 minutes, and I guarantee you, unless you have no soul, you will be entertained.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
There's something about watching someone play a game and talk about what they're doing, and you're kind of in your mind pressing buttons along with them, especially if you've played it before. It's a lot of fun. And where Twitch has really garnered the most attention and growth is because of their chat. Yeah. There's a great community that you can build up. We've been building up a community here on Facebook and YouTube and on our email list, but on Twitch, they use Twitch and another thing called Discord. We have an interview with the Twitch streamer. You can go find him on churchtrainingacademy.com. His name is Pastor Susie. Now his name is just Susie on Twitch. But
he got excommunicated?
No, I think he wanted to more segment it off from the church. He wants the church to be a focus, and he doesn't want to like bleed the church off into his stream and then have them not come back to the church stream. I don't know. It's a thing. I'm sure Jordan watches them all the time. I'm sure he can tell you more about that. You can comment in the thing. But Dave, go to the link that I gave you. It's called Growth, and put that up on screen, because I just want you to see how much Twitch has blown up. Tell me when it's on the screen, when people can see it. Okay, cool. So just first of all, if you're just like me and you're just a simpleton, just look at the graph. Okay. Twitch is blowing up. Let's see. Monthly broadcasters have gone from 300,000-ish to over 4 million. So there's a lot of people on there creating content. And then viewers have gone from just over 100,000 the year after I got married, and I'm still young, to over 1 million. That's 1 million people that are on this platform, and it's just blowing up because you can see it's ticking up even further. This thing is taking off. And if you go to the statistics page, there's a really, really amazing infographic. And just look at that first.
Got it.
That first statistic, 81.5% of Twitch users are male. So Twitch is going to give you some similar demographic as YouTube. When you look at marketing, and you'll probably experience this as the church, it's really hard to get guys engaged on Facebook and Instagram. I mean, sure. It's just we're just not into it. There's different reasons why, but it's mostly women. You go look at your church page, your church group, or your Instagram analytics, 60% and above is going to be women. So it's really hard to talk to the guys. So typically we've always gone to YouTube. But even then, it's sometimes hard for churches to create content on YouTube, because it's kind of like you kind of have to develop kind of a system. The thing with Twitch is like Pastor Susie said, you've got an audience there that's been alienated. YouTube, you've got everyone, but the people on Twitch are really those people that grew up playing video games. They were made fun of. They didn't get outside a lot. They didn't have as many friends. They just didn't get out as much, probably. Okay. So 81% of Twitch users are male. It's a great way to hit the male audience. Plus 55%, just over half of them, are going to be between the ages of 18 and 34. Those young families, those young singles that we really want to attract, a lot of us. 15 million people are on it daily. There's a whole bunch of stats here that we'll link when this goes published later on. It's just, this thing is blowing up, and it's not just blowing up for everyone, but for this specific demographic. And I know in the churches that I've worked at, we know that if we can get the head of the family, the man, or if we can get the man involved, the family tends to come along with them. Okay. Because if he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, he should be the head of the family and leading the family. And so oftentimes they're slacking off and they're watching Twitch all day. Kind of like I do sometimes. Okay. But if you can use it for good, like Pastor Susie and the God Squad Church, if you can reach those people there, that's another avenue that you can use to hit that male demographic. You've got the women on Facebook and Instagram. Where are you going to find the men? Well, YouTube is one place. Twitch is another place. So Plus, you get to play video games. So find someone in your church that they like to play video games. Like me, if my pastor came up and said, hey, I know you teach Bible study. I know you've got your salt. Maybe I'll disciple you a bit. But I'd like to start this Twitch channel. You want to just hang out and play games? We'll do like there's video games with Conan. Have you seen the Conan O'Brien where he plays a video game for the first time?
No, I haven't. That sounds good though.
Oh my gosh. Go to YouTube and just look up Conan plays video games. And he's hilarious. Conan's my favorite late night guy. But he plays video games and he's so overly stupid about it. Like, oh, hey, can I step on this person? And then they'll be like, no, that's the protagonist. And he's like, I don't care. I want to kill him. And he's kind of like that he's kind of got that silliness about him, but people watch it and love it. And so if you can just figure that out, and that's kind of what Church Training Academy is here for, to help you figure out and navigate your way through this. We've even talked about starting a Twitch channel. This would be a great way, again, to hit that younger male demographic that's only growing. And if you can get your presence there now and get it on the ground floor, you could be the church that's reaching that demographic in your city that just no one else can get to. We used to try by getting video game and board game nights, but now people are on Twitch. And so we can reach them there. It's just a growing platform. Man, I feel like I've been talking for hours.
No, it's Twitch. This may seem like a stretch, but it's not. This can almost be like the family game night kind of a thing. You can take this approach. In fact, because you can live stream the games, Justin, because you can do stuff like that. We have at our church, we'll have folks like our youth group and stuff. A couple of people will bring up some Wiis and some Xboxes and stuff like that up in the youth room, and we'll have like a game night, till midnight or something, where people are playing and doing stuff like that. You could like stream that stuff on Twitch while you're doing it live. I mean, there's all kinds of neat stuff that can happen when you start thinking outside the box. And man, I just want to encourage everybody to do that, to think outside the box. We're called to fulfill the Great Commission. That doesn't mean that we only invite people to our church. In fact, I can't ever think about a time in Scripture where Jesus said, "Y'all come to me." I don't remember. I remember him going and to the tabernacle or to the synagogue and teaching. He was a rabbi, so he did things like that. But the examples we see are him walking around and talking to people, him going to be with people that are the dregs of humanity, and so this quote unquote class of people, gamers, they need the gospel just as much as everybody else. So,
and it's not even just gamers.
No,
I'm
it's
on
not.
Twitch.
Yeah.
I mean, you got me, a guy working 8 to 5,
right?
Comes home. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be watching more Twitch. There wouldn't be any difference between me and a non-church me.
No, exactly.
So you're reaching even more people than just those.
And for those of you out there, for those of you out there that are rolling your eyes, going, "Oh, watching video games and stuff like that." Hey, are you rolling your eyes on Saturday afternoon when you're watching the baseball game? Are you rolling your eyes when you're watching people play basketball? All of you sit around and watch the NBA Finals, and you do all that. It's the same thing. It is literally the same thing. You're not good enough to play basketball, so you watch the NBA or you enjoy watching people compete. There is literally nothing different than watching someone play the new Spider-Man game or World of Warcraft or whatever like that. Esports is a real thing. So, roll your eyes if you want. I'll see you at the football game.
Yeah. Okay. So can I blow your mind, Dave?
Please.
I'm not going to ask you leading questions. I'm just going to tell you. Okay. Tommy commented in YouTube. He's playing Train Sim right now, which I'm assuming is Train Simulator.
Train Simulator. Yeah, I've been around for about 25 years.
This is a game.
Yeah.
Where you basically it's a lifelike representation of trying to operate a train.
Yeah.
And try to crash it. Okay. There is some skill and technique in there. Okay. Train Simulator.
Yeah.
Right now, in the 11 o'clock hour on July 12th, there are 3 people live streaming themselves playing Train Simulator. Okay. One in English, one in Russian, one in German. You think Train Simulator? There's 3 people right now streaming it. And if you go into the game, people that are following the Train Simulator app, which game, which means people have gone into Twitch and say, "I like this game. Let me know, Twitch, when people are playing it, so I can watch them play it." 5,000 people. 5,000 people for a train simulation game.
Right.
The people are out there. They
Yeah.
want to see stuff,
Exactly. So
even if it's train sim.
exactly. So if you're a dork of a pastor and you like flight simulators or train simulators or something like that, guess what? You've got a mission field that you can share with other people. So go do it.
Yeah.
Think outside the
Yeah,
box.
and like I said, it's growing beyond games. Chris said he's been trying to convince his young people to stream their Dungeons and Dragons game nights.
Oh,
Hey,
absolutely.
whatever you got D&D, whatever, keep it to yourself. But you could, okay, so it's beyond that. They also have musicians,
Mhm.
okay? So similar to how like, oh, the city's having a fall festival, let's get our church band there to play a set, right? We've tried to do that, or the city's having a 4th of July parade. Let's see if we can get our church band on the float and they can play. You can get your church band on Twitch. Just do a night of worship. I'm going to search night of worship
Hey,
or just worship. Let's see what's
Susie
going on.
does that. Susie does that.
Oh, yeah, he does that.
He does full on church.
Yeah. Well, he does full on church. Yeah. So I'm going to see if I can search. It's not going to work here. Let's try this.
This is live TV, folks. Those of you listening,
Live TV.
Those of y'all listening, he's furiously typing. I'm standing here just.
Yeah.
looking.
So there are people where I can't pull up because it's not a game and it's not a genre.
Mhm.
I'd have to figure out how to search for it. But I know I've seen people actually doing worship. So there's musicians that play. There's people that do talk shows on Twitch.
Absolutely.
People that just get in front of the camera and just rant for an hour. I mean, you can pretty much do anything. Again, it's mostly known for games, but let's brainstorm something. Let's have fun. Let's give it a shot. I don't know. Anyways, we got to move on. But
Yes.
Twitch, loving the Twitch platform. It's just growing. I wanted to bring it to your attention now in the middle of 2019 because in the middle of next year, it's going to be even more insane.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to go really, really negative. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
All right. So in the news recently, there's been a lot of stuff that is starting to come out. We're starting to see examples. People are passing around examples and stuff. Have you heard the term deep fake?
I'm on Reddit every day, so of course I have.
Of course, yes. For those of you who don't know, deep fake is a term referring to a near perfect false image or video. Okay, so you can think of it like this. Perfect example. Everybody's seen the movie Forrest Gump, right? Justin, tell me you've seen Forrest Gump.
Of course.
Okay. All right. So in Forrest Gump, one of the things that was really cool about that movie is that they tell the story of this gentleman with a low IQ and how he is living his life, and you're walking with him through the stories of his life and all the things that he's done. He met the president twice. So they have footage in there of Kennedy shaking his hand and presenting him with a medal or something. They have Lyndon Johnson with him, in these actual press events that they had back in the 60s. They took Tom Hanks and composited him into the shot and had him interacting with these people. Okay, that's Hollywood magic. We've been seeing this sort of stuff for decades, right? But now we have the ability to do this kind of stuff on our phones. And I'm not kidding. With the artificial intelligence algorithms and things that are going and growing and growing and growing, you're able to do things that can very easily pass off as real. Justin, I remember 2 years ago, maybe, I was watching an Adobe conference. Adobe, the people that make Photoshop and Premiere and After Effects and all that stuff. The guy was showing how they're working on a tool for Adobe Audition, which is the audio editor. They're working on a tool in there so that you and I, as documentary filmmakers, we could, if we're doing an interview with somebody, and that person misspeaks or they mispronounced something or whatever, we could actually go in and change it. So perfect example why you would use something like this. If I'm doing an interview with Justin, and Justin says, so supposedly they went to the store before I got home. Okay, well, supposedly is not a word, and Justin sounds like an idiot because he's using this made up word and he's speaking it wrong. So I want Justin to look really good. So I could actually extract the text and change supposedly to supposedly. And because we have a whole lot of audio of him saying all these different words and all these different phonetic sounds and all this, it could basically interpolate him saying supposedly. And now supposedly becomes supposedly, and you don't know the difference as the viewer. So you're just watching him talk and you hear him saying the right things. Or if he doesn't put a word in, and we need to put that word. They do that all the time in articles. And when you read an article and then they put like a bracket with something in there where they're like sort of filling in the gap in between two sentences, or completing a thought, putting it in context, something like that. We can do stuff like that, okay? So when you do deep fakes, you take that idea and we could actually take Justin and have him say something that he never said. I want to show you guys something. This is actually a really good example of a dangerous use of deep fakes. What are we on? That one.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. Everybody knows who this guy is, right?
I wish I could keep telling you that our mission in life is connecting people, but it isn't. We just want to predict your future behaviors. Spectre showed me how to manipulate you into sharing intimate data about yourself and all those you love for free. The more you express yourself, the more we own you. I wish I could keep telling you that our mission in life is connecting people.
Did Mark Zuckerberg really say that? No. Has Mark Zuckerberg really said all those words? Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe this is a guy that is doing a Mark Zuckerberg impersonation. But if I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see Mark Zuckerberg just flat out admitting that he wants to rip us off and do all this sort of stuff, I now have an opinion. I have been fooled, of course, but the damage is already being done. Does that make sense, Justin?
Yeah, 100%. As much as we don't like it, can I send you one more?
Please.
Do you have?
Please, yeah.
I'm gonna send you this one. So this one, I haven't listened to it it's been a year or two.
Oh yeah.
Since, or at least a couple months. This is done by an actual impersonator.
We're entering an era in which our enemy.
Yeah, let me jump over here real fast. This is
Yeah, go for it.
This is quote unquote President Obama.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would.
That looks like Obama. Now, I'm looking at this and I can tell that it is a deep fake. I can see some animation. I can see the stuff that they're doing, okay? And a lot of us are passing around deep fakes and stuff because, the one I saw this morning is a scene from The Shining, and it's Jack Nicholson typing on the typewriter and talking and doing stuff, but they made it be Jim Carrey. So they took Jim Carrey's face and they comped it in really, really good, and it looks like Jim Carrey was in The Shining. I mean, it's really cool when he's talking and doing everything. It's really neat. This is fun to play with, okay, and it's neat. Do you still use Snapchat?
No.
Okay, so
I have it, but I don't use it.
Okay, so Snapchat has a filter, and a couple of months ago, my wife and the girls and I and some friends, we were all playing with it, where we can see what does Justin look like as a girl, what does my wife look like as a guy? All of a sudden she has a beard and stuff, and you can tell that it's a Snapchat filter, but at first glance, it's like, whoa, that looks really, really real. This is something that we can have a lot of fun with, okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. The problem comes in when someone has an agenda and they want to do some harm. And because of the nature of the internet and the nature of our society, and because you, me, Justin, everybody tends to have these knee-jerk reactions, and ready, fire, aim seems to be the order of the day when we're passing around stuff. I mean, even you and I get get caught in this where we share something and then we realize, dadgummit, this person died 6 years ago. you know, or no, Snopes is right. This is not a real story. I try to catch all this stuff. You try to catch all this stuff before we pass it on, and we correct people, and people end up sometimes having to correct us. We just all fall victim to it. Okay. The problem comes in though when someone wants to do harm, and this thing of President Obama saying that President Trump is a dip. You guys heard the word. Sorry about that. That seems kind of innocuous and kind of funny and stuff like that. But the reality is that stuff like that can actually do damage, and the damage can happen so fast that it's out there and it's going to be really hard to recover from. Imagine somebody that we admire, that holds a standing in public, whether it's a pastor, whether it's a political leader, a pillar of the community, anything like that, and they're a target for someone else who wants to do harm to them. Do you remember when we had the floods in Houston, Justin, 2 years ago? I think it was. 2 years ago this summer. And Houston was flooding horribly in, about 3 weeks from now. And I remember these stories going around how, is it Lakeway?
Lakewood.
Huh?
Lakewood.
Yes, Lakewood. Joel Osteen's church. There were all these articles going around and people saying about how they refused to let people come in and do all this. That wasn't there wasn't truth to that. They were doing this to make Joel Osteen look like a superficial. We don't want the dirty people in our clean church. Mm-hmm. There was an agenda behind doing stuff like that. Imagine now you take something out of context and you have Joel Osteen up there in the pulpit saying whatever you want him to say, a false gospel, disparaging people. Pastor Jeffress, he's very, at First Dallas, he's a very public figure, on the national stage, and we don't like him, so we're gonna have him saying stuff. We're gonna have him talking about the vacations that he's taken with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, holy cow, you can do a lot of damage with this stuff. How do we fix this? I don't know.
But Dave, we're just a local church. There's only 200 of us.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. The local church is where people are going to target a lot of this stuff. The local church is a place that they can suffer the most damage, I think. Yeah, there's all this national stuff, but dude, y'all want me to be completely honest with you guys? What, 3 months ago or something, there was an article in the Houston Chronicle. They did this big expose about sexual abuse in churches, and we have heard these stories, especially with priests and stuff like that. We've heard all these sort of things. Some of them have been horrific tales. They were talking about how, hey, it's not just the Catholic Church that's abusing kids. It's the Protestant churches. There's Baptist churches. They're doing all this sort of stuff. And that, we take a hit, collectively as the body of Christ for that. The Houston Chronicle published an interview of a one-star general that I grew up with. He was in our church. He was teaching RAs. He was doing all this sort of stuff. They published him, somebody that I have known, I'm 46, 44 years, from my local church that was involved in stuff like that did things, that got arrested, that's in prison, doing all that sort of stuff. And it affected our local church. That happened years ago. That scab was removed and hurt our church again. The church I grew up in hurt that church again. It's just like, pouring salt in a wound, okay? Stuff like that, we're going to be targets, and now the technology is out there to make it even worse. So I say all this not because there's no hope, but right now I don't know of a solution for this. I was trying to think how can we, and the people that are creating this are saying we don't know how to do this. We don't know how to circumvent this sort of stuff. Sometimes it's really obvious, Sometimes it's not, but once it's out there, the damage can be done, and sometimes the truth doesn't matter. You know.
So can I go 1984 on you,
Please.
and then
You're gonna go double plus on good.
I'm going to back it up with a possible solution.
Okay.
Okay. Let me preface this by saying that Dave and I are not security experts, nor are we all up on the tech. However, I think we're at the point now where we can rightly predict where tech is going to go.
Sure.
Okay. People knew that someone was going to make a great touchscreen phone.
Mhm.
We didn't know it was going to be Apple. And what was it, 07?
Right.
We did not see that coming. But it came. Okay. And this was predicted back in 3, 2, 1, where people were trying to make that phone. Here's what could happen. I got a good friend named Cody. Man, I guess he's not that good. I got a friend.
Name Earl.
We used to work in the same town, and then he moved up north. He's a photographer, and basically, he also works at his church. Someone stiffed him. Client stiffed him. Basically, broke all of his rules. I don't think they paid him enough, and he said, "All right, enough's enough. I'm not going to work with you anymore." They were furious. Because of course you can do no wrong, and they attacked his church page and basically bombed the review. This lady got all her friends to 1-star the church. She had to take his reviews down through no fault of the church, through honestly no fault of Corey or Cody. Gosh, every time I say it, it sounds wrong. Anyways,
Robert.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I messed that up. I hope he never sees this. Through no fault of Cody, his church reviews had to go down. Now, what happens when Snapchat or any app, just deepfake.io, I can just, grab a picture from Facebook. They got a high quality picture of the church's pastor. Grab my phone and say, okay, I'm the pastor, and now I'm just going to talk. Hey, I'm pastor so-and-so of church. And if you're gay, go away. We don't want you here.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. No one knows what that pastor sounds like. They don't know you're doing you don't even have to do an impersonation.
Right.
If no one's met you, they can see a video. So, oh, dude, look at this guy, Dave, like trash, whatever.
Yeah.
And people, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that. They're not going to say, that doesn't sound like Dave. They've never heard you.
Right.
And then when you come back and say, no, guys, that wasn't me. That was a deep fake. This is me. This is what I sound like. Go watch all my videos. Everyone else is going to say, oh, well, he's just backtracking. I can't believe that's the world we live in.
Right.
Okay, so I'm kind of Orson Welles here and predicting the future of how this could happen to your church, just by simple means of if the technology gets so cheap and so easy and so consumable, people that are out to get you can get you.
Yeah.
All right. We already have people making up stories about the church, and yes, there is abuse in the church. Anywhere there's humans, there are going to be abuse.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also stories that are made up. And they drag churches to this long, expensive thing, knowing they're going to lose, but knowing they hit the church by taking time and value and money away from the church, just dragging through. And you come off scot-free, right? Maybe it's inconclusive. Anyways,
but the damage is done.
Here's how you start. Here's how you start protecting yourself. And this is true now, even without deepfakes. Content, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Need to have your bylaws up on your website somewhere. Don't put them first page. Bury them in a resources section, in a members section. But somewhere, when someone gets mad because you won't do a man and man marriage, you can say, this has been in our bylaws for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't come back and say, well, we didn't know, you're refusing us because you just don't like us.
Right.
And now here's so whatever, right? In court, you can point and say, this has been our policy. We didn't just make this up. This has been our policy since whatever. You write a blog post that talks about your views on abortion, okay? And then when someone attacks you saying, well, you're just hating on this particular woman because whatever, I don't know what situation will come up that way. You can say, this has been our policy, this has been our beliefs for a long time. We've been talking about this consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone makes a deep fake of your pastor or of someone in your church and your church takes a hit, you can say, no, we've said this. This is a one-time flip-flop. It makes no sense. It's a deep fake. And yeah, you can tell the eyes are off or whatever, but they'll fix that later. You can point to this and say, this is an abnormality. This is not us. You can see our history of content and see that this is not how we treat people or how we talk about people or what we believe. So step one, right now, the foundation is you got to get content out there that talks about your beliefs, talks about your policies and protocols. And that way, when someone eventually makes a deep fake or makes a false claim, you have a history to back up against, just to add to the character witnesses or whatever else you need.
Right.
That's step one. And you kind of need that right now. I think the whole put your marriage policies somewhere. I think that was from Justin Dean. He's like, your pastor needs to start blogging about this now. I think I saw that from Twitter months or years ago.
Right.
Protect yourself now, or protect your future self now with content.
Yeah.
All right.
And another thing to do is content. Be publishing. So now is the time to have a gigantic archive of your sermons, of your Bible studies, of all this stuff, so that if they come back and say, well, look, he said this like that, you can say, you know what, that's completely out of context. Here's the actual context of what was said. You can go back and show the two sentences that were taken. They're doing that. They have to do that with the news anyway. But then you can also say, no, we have a history. We did a sermon series on this for 10 weeks that it's completely contradicting what we're being accused of, regardless of what the deep fake says. You have to have this library of proof, and that's what you were talking about, and having a published library of proof is the only thing I can think of right now that we can do. I'm sure eventually we will come to a point where we can do it. Forensics, does it all the time, where they can say this image was faked. They can come up and say,
actually, a funny thing and some hope to wrap it up, and then I got to go.
Yeah.
There actually is an app now. I don't remember the app name, but I remember seeing it all over. A little sensationalized. Instagrammers are panicked because now there's an app you can run through, and it'll tell you if a photo was photoshopped.
Yeah.
Or manipulated. It'll show you like a heat map of like, oh, they brought their chin thinner, or they raised their hips out or whatever. So
yeah, the way the pixels have been manipulated, these aren't the original pixels.
Up on that end of the spectrum. Yeah. Maybe we'll get there too with fake videos, but
I think we will. We just don't know how soon.
Yeah, we just don't know how soon. There's going to be a lot of damage ahead.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got to go, guys. Thank you so much. Dave, wrap us up.
Hopefully this has been helpful for you. This has been it's not the happiest thing to talk about when we get to something this deep and all that, but part of our job here is to make sure that you guys are aware of stuff. We don't want you to be oblivious. We don't want you to get hit with something that is potentially damaging like this. And we also don't want to scare you, because there's nothing we can do about it. If things are happening, things are coming, we don't want to run. I've had people say, we just shouldn't be online. We shouldn't be streaming. We shouldn't be doing any of this stuff like that. That way no one can do it. Okay, well that's living in a cave. That's hiding. That's you don't want people to say that you engage in hate speech. So the best way to not engage in hate speech is don't share the gospel with anybody. The gospel is offensive. So if we don't want to offend anybody, we just better not share. We'll just let them go to hell. Come on. We just have to be smart. We just have to be, wary about stuff like that. So, I didn't want this to be the deep fake episode, but this is something that's happening in the news. This is something that is coming. This is something that is out there. We just got to be wise. Wise as serpents and gentle as doves. That's what we're supposed to do. The enemy is wise as a serpent and, is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and any other, fantastic metaphor you can think of. So we just have to be wise. So think about that. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. Take advantage of Prime Day. Those of y'all that are watching this live, those of y'all that are listening to the playback, Prime Day has probably already come and gone. So, but keep your eyes open and look for these little times that you can take advantage of things like this. If you can save $100 on a camera, or if you can save $25 on a camera, if you need to buy 10 iPads and you can end up saving $500, over the course of that buying stuff, take advantage of it. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Be sure to smash that like button. Be sure to what's all the stuff that you have to do. You have to subscribe. You have to ring the bell if you want to get notified, all that sort of stuff. You guys are smart enough to do all that, so please do that. Regardless, take everything that you've learned and use it to go change lives. We'll see you in the